as Nailed Down, which is based on my life growing up in Queens, New York, during some crazy fucking times. Sex, drugs, and punk rock.
Yeah. The dramedy explores the adventures of 13-year-old Frankie, an aspiring graffiti artist and a romantic dreamer. But at school, he's thrown into a class for the emotionally handicapped. At first, he rebels, but when he finds his crew, everything changes. Together, they embark on a series of adventures that play out on the mean streets of New York. The series explores the emotional conflicts he has with his tough father, a Rikers Island captain, and the love he feels for Blondie, a beautiful girl at school he tries to save from abuse. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you so much.
I hope you enjoy our reading.
Chairs Nailed Down, Pilot, by Karen Goldfarb and Steve Grodwald. Fade in, teaser, July 4th, 1988, exterior playground, day. It's one of those hideously hot sidewalk melting days in Flushing, Queens, New York. We see families barbecuing and children playing stickball in the streets. There is a buzz in the neighborhood as the boys of summer are World Series contenders. Frankie, 13, rocking a mullet with a New York Mets cap, is looking intense as he stands hunched over something on the ground. He is with his friend Galileo, otherwise known as Leo, also 13, a weird and nerdy-looking kid with an uncanny resemblance to Subway vigilante Bernie Getz. Leo, who goes by the nickname The Scientist, pulls something out of a dirty-looking knapsack.
Hey, check it out.
The fuck is that?
He goes to touch it.
Hey, don't do that. It could go off.
The fuck?
Yeah, I made it last night.
Yo, what did you do? What is it?
What does it look like?
Looks like a bomb, shithead.
Wild genius.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna blow this whole place sky high.
Shit, why you want to do that?
Because it's gonna be cool.
Frankie goes to grab the bomb and it accidentally explodes. We hear the sounds of sirens going off. Leo is now on the ground writhing in pain. An ambulance comes. Frankie stands paralyzed. He is crying. His friend is taken away. There is a lot of blood.
Oh, shit.
Interior classroom day. Frankie sits in the back of the classroom in a school that looks more like a prison. He is in the 8th grade, and all he wants to do is break out. As his scary-looking teacher turns her back on the class while writing on the board, Frankie sits in the back of the classroom, huffing glue. He takes a spitball, and with a master's aim, hits her squarely on the backside. "Get out of here, Francis!" Frankie smirks. Interior principal's office day. Frankie sits slumped in the chair. A principal sits in a huge chair lecturing Frankie. The door opens, and Frankie's mother, Juanita, 40, enters the office. She is a no-nonsense woman, and she is very angry.
Why are you bothering my son?
Excuse me? I think you're a bit confused, Mrs. Hartman. Your son has been extremely confrontational with his hard-working teacher and disruptive to his entire class.
I highly doubt that, Miss Dog. What's your name?
Don't you remember?
No,
We met just a few weeks ago.
no, I don't.
Your son is expelled, Mrs. Hartman. We'll have to find other arrangements for him. I am recommending he be placed in a special education class so his special needs can be attended to.
Exterior school day. Juanita drags Frankie out by his ear.
Oh, but I didn't do anything.
Don't give me that bullshit. I'm getting tired of you acting like a criminal. Your father's gonna be furious.
Interior, Rikers Island Prison, day. Frank Sr., 43, a tough-looking man, is a captain at Rikers Island Prison. He's in the middle of a meeting with several politicians. He slams the door. The phone rings.
Captain Hartman's office. Frank, it's for you.
I thought I told you I was not to be disturbed.
It's your wife.
Jesus.
He takes the phone angrily.
What did he do now?
Exterior house, early evening. Frank stands outside his house. He takes in a neat-looking lawn and tidy but homey-looking outside. He bends to pull up a stray dandelion. He opens the mailbox and a mass of bills falls out. He sighs. Interior house, early evening. Juanita stands waiting at the door. She has on bright red lipstick and a sexy-looking blouse.
Where is he?
He's very upset. He says he'll never do it again.
I have to deal with animals all day at work. Now I have to deal with one at home.
He pushes past his wife and climbs the stairs up to his son's room, 2 at a time. Frankie Jr. sits working on graffiti piece that he plans to spray on the number 7 subway line. He barely looks up at his father.
What up, Dad?
Frank Sr.'s open hand smacks Frankie off his chair, then throws Polaroid pictures at him of inmates with lifeline cuts on their faces.
You're fucking killing me, son! Do you know that? Do you want to wind up with a lifeline on your face? You want to wind up with stitches on your ass for bending over for the soap?
Frankie lays on the floor sobbing.
I'm sorry, Dad. It won't happen again. I'm sorry.
Interior school, day. Juanita, carefully made up and dressed in her best dress, clutches a letter. We see the words on top. Committee on the Handicapped. She knocks on the office of Mrs. Weinstein, a brittle-looking brunette with a bureaucrat's smile.
Come in, Mrs. Hartman. I'm so glad you could make it. I think we have the perfect solution for your son's problem.
My son doesn't have any problem.
Yes, well, you know, I've been told that he's been very disruptive in class, and he's extremely behind on his assignments. There's an opening in a marvelous class for special students like him.
Special students?
Yes. Students whose special needs are not met, actually, in a traditionally rigorous academic environment. I think Frankie will be better served in this kind of class.
But this letter says he will be in a class for handicapped students.
That's right.
Mrs. Weinstein pushes a fancy-looking pen across the desk. We see Juanita's hand shakily signing it. Interior classroom, morning. A few days later, Frankie and his mother stand at the door of a chaotic-looking classroom. All around the room are children acting out. We see Tony Tourette's standing on his desk, screaming obscenities. Rico stands in the corner, playing an imaginary guitar. Leo, the weird, nerdy-looking kid who had the bomb in a teaser, now has a hook where his arm once was. And Michael, who has been given the name of retard by the other kids, is wearing a hockey helmet and banging his head on the wall, crying. Frankie takes all this in and begins to scream.
No, 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 no!
The teacher, a fragile-looking newbie, stands paralyzed in the back of the room, surveying the chaos.
What the hell is going on?
I just can't! She runs suddenly out of the room.
Children?
The chaos doesn't stop.
Children, I'm trying to speak nicely to you. We have a lot of work to get done today. Children, shut the fuck up!
Interior garage, morning. Anthony Sr., a.k.a. Tony Shotgun, who is Tony Tourette's dad, is Hell on Wheels. He is part of the notorious Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. He earns his living by making mescaline in his bathtub. Today is his son's lucky day.
Tony, get over here.
What's up, Daddy?
Today your birthday.
Oh, Daddy, that was last month. Remember the pistol you got me?
All right. Stroke of genius. Take care of that baby. Well, I got something else for you.
He goes into a drawer and takes some mescaline out. He wraps it carefully and hands it to his son.
Thanks, Daddy. What is it?
Daddy's favorite snack. Mescaline. Go ahead. Share it with the other kids. You got to put it under your tongue. Tell them to put it under their tongues. You're going to love it.
Thanks, Daddy.
He raises his hand to wave, but his father has already disappeared in a frenzy of motorcycle noise and fury. Interior Rikers Island, day. Frank Sr. strides angrily into the newly opened gay section at Rikers. Zan, a black drag queen, doing her best to look like Diana Ross, stands on a chair in the middle of her cell, singing at the top of her lungs.
Stop! In the name of love, before you break my heart.
Zan sees Frank Sr. walk in.
Hi, baby.
Frank Sr. tries to ignore her as he engages with one of the guards. We see him gesturing angrily.
Honey, didn't you hear what I said? I said, hello, baby. Don't you have anything nice to say to me? Didn't your mama teach you anything?
Shut your mouth. You don't talk to me. You don't look at me. Ever. Do we understand?
Oh, somebody is cranky today. Whatever you say, sugar. I'll catch you later.
A guard climbs up on the table and tries to get Zan down.
Well, honey, you're not as cute as Cat, but I'll guess you'll have to do.
Zan breaks away from the guard and tries to kiss Frank Sr. on the mouth. He pushes Zan away, and she gets lipstick all over his collar.
Will somebody get this freak off of me?
The guard takes her back to the cell, and the crowd disperses. We catch a glimpse of Zan blowing kisses to Frank Sr.
Bye, Zaddy. I still love you.
Frank glares at her. The guards try and hustle Zan away.
Take your hands off of me. I'm a lady.
Frank addresses the guards who stand there smirking.
Who's the idiot who let this happen? Animals! That's all I deal with all fucking day. Animals.
Interior school, day, later. Miss Goldblatt, 40ish, walks into the classroom being run by Mrs. Weinstein. Mr. Benedetto, 50, strides in fiercely despite his wide girth. Mrs. Weinstein sees them come in. She looks spent.
Oh, thank God, thank God. I'm exhausted.
Mr. Benedetto looks around the classroom, taking in the chaos and the mess.
I'll take your food, Iridell. You can leave.
Oh, bless you, Lou, bless you.
Go ahead. Go get a cup of coffee.
We'll talk later.
I'll deal with these monsters.
Thank you, Mr. Benedetto. You are something else. She looks up at him adorably, and she waves. He just waves her off.
Everybody take their seat at once.
The kids hesitate for a second, and Benedetto rushes to the middle of the room.
I said now! Any questions?
Frankie slinks back to his desk. He hates being part of this crowd. His hand moves down the back of the chair, and he tries to move his chair in. He realizes he can't. The chairs are nailed down. He turns to Leo, whose desk is next to his.
I can't move my seat. What the fuck?
They're nailed down, moron.
Why are they nailed down? So you don't throw them at the fucking teacher. Listen, shut the fuck up. I have enough trouble as it is. I want to talk to you.
All right, Captain. You got it.
Interior hallway, day. The hallway is jamming as kids make their way to the schoolyard. We hear the Beastie Boys blasting out of the ghetto blaster down the hall. Frankie makes his way into the sea of students when his chain wallet gets caught on the hand of a beautiful blonde girl, causing her to drop her books.
Oh, shit. My bad. I got him. I'll get him.
Frankie picks up her books, and to his surprise, he's enraptured by her natural beauty. He's going through puberty, and his hormones are out of control.
Here you go. Excuse me. Here you go. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Thank you. Frankie blushes red. Out of nowhere, he can feel his pants getting tighter. He's getting an uncontrollable erection. He takes one of her notebooks back and covers his privates and scurries down the hall in embarrassment. Hey, wait, my book! She stops for a second to collect herself. She realizes that the notebook he's stolen is her personal journal. Oh, fuck! She runs down the hallway after Frankie, but he is ghost. Interior prison, late afternoon. Frank Sr. sits scowling at his desk. He reaches for the flask hidden under his desk when one of his officers, Johnny, comes in.
Boss, you're not gonna believe this.
What's up, John?
The guys over in that new unit for queers think they're hot shit. They gave me this list of demands, and they say they'll stage a hunger strike if we don't agree to it.
Jesus Christ, motherfucker. Let me see the list.
He reads it. We hear the sounds of stomping feet, hysterical laughter, and oh, honeys coming from the LGBT unit.
I tried to warn them about this. This was a mistake.
I know, boss.
The two men walk back to the unit. Zan is back at it, standing on a table, this time dressed as Aretha Franklin. She sees Frank walk in.
Hey, darling. Did you miss me?
Shut your mouth or I'll have one shut it for you.
Oh, baby. You seem so tired and angry. Come to mama.
Frank reddens and tries to restrain his rage. Zan starts talking to the other prisoners.
Oh, you beautiful people. You know what we want, don't you?
Yeah!
What's that, darling?
Yeah!
RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. Suck it to me, 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 suck it to me. Woo!
The men are clapping and stomping, and the sound fills the room. The music continues as we see Frank driving wearily home. It follows Juanita as she goes about making dinner, exhausted from her day. And it follows Frankie Jr. as he tries to make his way home, flying high on mescaline. He's in the middle of the street, and cars are honking and whizzing around him. He is on a harrowing journey, but he's also loving it. It is dark when he makes it home. Juanita greets him at the door.
Where the hell have you been?
Uranus.
Juanita slaps him across the face, and the music fades out.
Go to your room. Wait till your father hears about this.
Frankie starts climbing slowly up the stairs.
Mom. Please don't tell him.
Frankie goes up to his room and closes the door. He sits staring at the wall, turning the light on and off. He goes to his bookcase and finds a book on the planets, and he begins to draw them on a huge canvas. His father comes in, and Frankie braces for an attack. But his father just goes over to him and touches his shoulder.
How was your day, son?
It was alright, Dad.
The two of them stare at the planets that Frankie has drawn. Fade out.